Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome to Analog After Dark, episode number 5. I am here with Leland. It has actually been a couple of weeks since we have filmed an episode. We both have gotten pretty busy, but it has been quite a couple of weeks. In the past couple of episodes, I remember sitting down with Leland thinking to myself, oh my God, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? And now there's so much news and so much to talk about that I've had to cut a bunch of stuff out. It's been a very, very busy couple of weeks. And that's saying something when it comes to music news, vinyl news, because there's a lot of news that's not really news in this industry. We've been in the vinyl resurgence now for a decade. There's a lot of killer stuff that has already come out, but there's not a lot of great stuff that has yet to come. I mean, there's always the rumblings of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and the Beatles, you know, wishful thinking more than anything else. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but I wouldn't be holding my breath until it happened. But one of my all-time favorite bands, I would say if there was to be a fourth tier of reissues, this would be in that fourth tier. Although I don't think it would be I don't think this is going to be nearly as successful as those first three bands. But Analogue Productions has announced they are doing The Who, and a select smattering of The Who. They are doing a UHQR of Who's Next and Tommy. Who's Next, I think, considered their like crowning jewel. They're Abbey Road, Dark Side, or they're at, Abbey Road, Dark Side of the Moon. Although I think Tommy is a better album. Both of those come out August 28th. They're also doing Live at Leeds and My Generation July 24th. So what's cool about this announcement, unlike years past, we're not waiting years and years and years. These are like, boom, these are coming, like right away coming. Now, all of these are using the Classic Records mastering by Chris Bellman from decades ago. But I did a shootout years ago. I was watching it here not too long ago, and I mean, it was years ago. I had hair. It was terrible. This is the best sounding version of this here. It was terrible. Anyways, you can watch that. I'll put the link below. But the Classic Records Tommy won the shootout. It is the best sounding version, in my opinion, of that record. And I think Tommy's their masterpiece, not Who's Next. But it is by far and away, I think, just the winner. And they're actually just using the same metal plates to make the UHQR, which is nice because I don't know what they're going for now, but Who's Tommy was like a $500 record at once upon a time.
Yeah.
It's probably still $300 now. And Who's Next was a multi-$100 record before this announcement. I'm sure they've all cratered in price. But the Classic Records vinyl quality is hit or miss. You can get really pristine, perfect copies. You can get terribly noisy, scratched up, brand new out of the packaging copies.
Yeah.
So much so that when Classic Records was new, and I've told this before, they had a white glove service, which is comical to think of. They were the manufacturer of the records, but they kind of admitted that they were making subpar records. And for extra money, they would open the record up and make sure you didn't get a dud, which to me is comical. But
you've taken a page out of that yourself at the shop.
Yeah, but I'm not making the record.
That's true.
Yeah, I offer that as a service. I will open, but I'm fixing other people's mistakes.
Right.
It's not, I'm making this record. Let me make sure I'm not sending you a shitty copy.
Right.
But I remember that. That was 20 years ago, the Michael Hobson white glove service for Classic Records, but notoriously crummy quality control at Classic Records. That's just that it was. But the mastering on these are fantastic. This is huge news. I mean, these are multi-$100 records. Now, I've had the pre-orders on the website for a couple of days. Do you have any of these, by the way?
I have the Classic 33 of Tommy, and then I have the Decca US of Who's Next, and I also have the UK.
So you don't have
tracks.
the Classic Who's Next?
I don't. So that would be the one that I would, get out of it too.
So what's interesting about this...
And they're both 33.
They're both 33. The UHQRs are 33.
33.
The Leeds in My Generation are 45 RPM. And I'm not a 45 RPM fan, but I'll be smacking these up quickly. Live at Leeds is probably, if not... I'm going to go out on it's not a limb, because I think it's the greatest live recording of all time. If, like, you want to encapsulate a perfect concert or a concert that you would have loved to have been at, it's like Live at Leeds. Like, that is, I think, the greatest live concert of all time. But I've had these on the website for pre-order for a couple of days. Now, the UHQRs of Tommy and Who's Next have been selling really well. what's crazy is I sold almost no copies of My Generation and Live at Leeds. And I'm scrolling on the website. I'm scrolling on my back end of the website. I'm like, what's going on? Live at Leeds is amazing. It is. This guitar here is actually let me pull this over here. This is a replica Pete Townshend signature model guitar. This is how much of a fan I am. Numbered to 250. You see Pete Townshend's signature on the back. And this is the Live at Leeds guitar. I mean, this is the SG that he played from that show. I think it's Live at Leeds. Maybe he played it at Woodstock, Live at Leeds. I think it was all in that era. But I'm a huge fan, obviously, of Pete Townsend. I'm a huge Who fan, and I'm a huge fan of that album, but nobody's buying it. It's crazy. I'm looking at the pre-orders, and I'm like, I think I sold one copy. That's just insanity. I don't know. Maybe because it's so close, people are waiting. But you guys know how much I'm not a fan of 45 RPM. So when I'm telling you, like, pick this up, pick it up.
Yeah.
I actually have gone through about 6 copies of the 33 of it, because the 45 has never been released on any of these. They've done a 33 of all these, but the 45s, Classic Records did masterings of, but they were never released back in the day. So I have got the 33 of Leeds maybe 4 or 5 times. I've never gotten a clean, not noisy copy. They're like unicorn pressings. They just don't exist.
Right.
So to hear this at 45 RPM and get a nice, clean, quiet pressing.
Yeah. It was just the vinyl weight that was different with Classic Records. They did them all at 33, but they did 200-gram versions and then 130, 140 or something like that.
Yeah, and 200 gram is very hard to press properly. It always has been.
Yeah.
And that's why Analog Acoustic Sounds, analog, QRP, there we go, the actual pressing plant has pretty much done away with 200 gram.
Yeah.
Although the UHQR is still 200 gram.
I want to say they are.
I think that the UHQRs are 200 gram, but all of their pressings were 200 gram.
Yeah.
And they're not anymore because it's notoriously difficult to press. But I'm befuddled by the lack of sales of Live at Leeds. I think you guys need to go back and listen to that record. You know, those of you watching who are ordering Tommy and Who's Next. It's so damn good. But yeah, it's nice. We're getting them. I wonder if they're going to do. I have a feeling we're going to see 40. I mean, I don't know this. I'm speculating.
Yeah, and that may be the thing with the I mean, their UHQRs are still selling, but maybe people are waiting in anticipation that the 45s are going to come out.
Which is something
next.
nobody has that. So that's
right.
We all know how killer the 33 mastering is. So the 45, and maybe they'll do 45s of Tommy and Who's Next, although that'll be a massive 4-disc UHQR set. Probably, what, a couple $100 for that?
Yeah.
200, 250? I don't know what they would charge. 25 a disc. So probably $200 they would charge for that. Because what is it? 125 for a single disc?
Yeah, and then 150 for the double.
So maybe a 4-disc would be $200.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to get a 33 of Live at Leeds in My Generation, just because the labels don't like really licensing standard 33 pressings of a record.
Yeah.
They want to keep that for themselves. Although I don't think Live at Leeds is even in print. So why that's the case, who knows. But I think that is something I'm looking forward to the most this year, and it's right around the corner. Followed by my next news story, which is the Funkadelic Maggot Brain. That has been announced a week ago, but it was after the last filming of a podcast. So I'm doing 2,000 copies. Tip-on jacket, you know, the big heavy gatefold, but high gloss like a Tone Poet, numbered. And that's the in-groove exclusive. I didn't want to do color variants. There's a million color variants. I was looking online, scrolling.
A lot of indie shops.
A lot of indie shops are getting color variants, but I'm getting the quality variant. That's what I'm calling it. The quality variant.
Yeah.
The best
Maggot Brain
version
Tone Poet.
This is the Maggot Brain Tone Poet equivalent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Kevin Gray. But it's as nice as you're going to get for that record, which I think is their masterpiece.
And it's getting the full treatment. It's getting cassette, SACD, 45, 33 colored, 33 black.
I have sold more. Now, granted, it's been out a couple of weeks. I have sold more Funkadelic cassette tapes so far than I have all of the Who titles combined. I'm not even exaggerating. It's insane. people are going nuts for Funkadelic. They're doing Super Audio CD. They're doing cassettes, but the cassettes I've sold.
And they're doing coffee too. There's a
they're doing
Maggot
coffee,
Brain
but that's not exclusive to record stores. You got to get that. Who's doing the coffee collab?
I want to say it's someplace in Seattle.
No, I think it's Detroit, isn't it? Kind of the westbound.
Oh, maybe,
hometown.
yeah.
I think it's Detroit. Seattle.
Nazi's gonna do a shootout for the coffee. I think he was the one person that I heard that ordered it. And
what do you shoot it out with?
Everything else you got, Starbucks coffee, whatever. Yeah,
do a taste test.
But
So
it's like peanut butter flavor. We'll see.
The Pepsi challenge for peanut butter flavor. Oh, that's gonna be terrible. But I miss coffee. I gave it up a year and a half ago, but think about it often. They're doing SACD, they're doing cassettes, they're doing everything, you name it.
Yeah.
But the in-groove exclusive, by far and away, going to be the best. I mean, just ask me, I'll tell you. A lot of people I've seen in the comments have mentioned, well, you can get a stout and tip-on jacket with any of the records. Yours, the only difference with yours is it's glossy and numbered. That is not the case. The only tip-on jacket is the 45 RPM. The stout and tip-on jacket is on all of the 45 RPM cuts of it, but it's not high gloss. So the only way to get the stout and tip-on jacket at a 33 is the in-groove exclusive, and the only way to get a high gloss and numbered is the in-groove exclusive. So it's the pinnacle of what is available.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. This is the way I wanted to do it. Because it's the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
So when a manufacturer is doing a release and it's not quite the way you want it, really the only thing you could do is call them up and say, hey, I'd like to do an in-groove exclusive and let's do it this way, because that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
I got the version I wanted. Now, God, my emails have been absolutely blowing up. I think I've sold 700 or 800 of them so far of the 2000. So I don't think it's going to sell out when it comes out, but I always save a couple of hundred for international pre-orders. A lot of people are blowing my comments up and my email up. Hey, I can't order this. It's not on your website. I'm getting the 404 code, webpage not found. Because of the way we process customs, we don't offer pre-orders on international sales because we use a third-party customs broker. It's all inclusive. So what you see on the website is the price you pay, but it has to be done in a timely fashion. I can't keep pre-orders around for 6 months, 2 months, 3, whatever the case might be. And when I open up pre-orders to international customers, sometimes, as we were talking about with the Who, it not being the case, sometimes the case is it's a multi-year pre-order process.
Yeah.
Although I think MoFi and Analogue Productions, Acoustic Sounds, everybody's gotten away from that.
Yeah.
But that's still lingering in the system. Hence the Van Halen SACD that's not fully out, that's been in my system for 5 years since the old store.
Yeah.
So
those in the Steely Dans have lingered.
God, the Steely Dan's done though, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah, it's done.
No more Steely Dan.
Yeah.
No more. I'm done. But I always save a couple of hundred copies. There's going to be plenty for international customers. So
yeah, and I think it's going to be great because the tapes are in great shape. I mean, I think I was talking to you about since the late 70s or something like that. Well,
Ace did a reissue, or the Ace Masters is everything that's been used since the 80s. I think Ace did a reissue in the 80s, and they were crummy transfers. Everything that's ever been done since then is from that. All the digital, all the streaming are all using those crummy Ace Masters. So everything that Org is doing now is just light years better than anything from the 80s forward. Now you go back to the originals, and now you're getting much better pressings, but on much crummier vinyl. They weren't.
And trying to find a clean one of those, you're spending $500-600.
Maggot Brain has always been a tough record to find. Finding Maggot Brain in any condition.
Right.
Finding Maggot Brain in good condition, it's like James Brown. They were like party records. I'm thinking lots of drugs, lots of cheap turntables, and people just played the snot out of them. You don't really find them in good shape. I think you were looking for one for quite a while, weren't you? Yeah,
I did. I ended up finding a really clean copy. I think it was out of the Detroit area, and I've, found a white label promo over the years, and I think I have 3 or 4 copies of the original, and it's just great. I mean, it's in my eyes an essential album to have, and now this just makes it that much easier for everybody to get into. And again, the 4 Men with Beards that came out years ago, those sounded atrocious, and I think it turned a lot of people off. You get this copy that sounds terrible, now you can get one for $30-ish bucks. That sounds great. It's all analog. So
all of the discs are going to be analog. So I've got multiple versions on, red vinyl and black vinyl with the cheapy
Yeah.
cover. They're all analog cut.
Yeah.
The only difference with my exclusive is the packaging.
Yeah.
But they're all going to be
And it's the first time at 45
decent sounding.
too. So I think
first
it'll
time
be
at
great
45.
to hear it at 45. So it's almost worth, if you really love the album like I do and probably you do, to get both.
What is it, Maggot Brain on all the title track? Side 1, I'd imagine it's got to be.
Yeah, I think it's the
just
opening
the
track.
opening track, right?
Yeah.
And then side 2 will be. But yeah, a whole side of Maggot Brain. Fuzzy,
Yeah.
killer Eddie Hazel guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be great.
Yeah.
That's the winner. So when is September 11th on that? Right? September 11th?
I think it's in September.
September 11th. It's always still to this day. Every time I say, oh, it's coming out September 11th, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, I don't know. That September 11th was
It just kind of sticks with you if you're around.
our age.
Yeah.
But I remember, I was 17 years old. I got a phone call from my mother when the first plane hit. Turn on the TV. So I watched it all live. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Seeing dates of September 11th.
Yeah.
What happened? Oddly enough, my best friend and my girlfriend at the time were both, their birthday was September 11th.
No.
So
Sticks with you even more for something like that. Yeah. I was a freshman in high school when that happened.
Yeah.
So
I was senior, maybe.
yeah.
Okay. So we can skip around here. The new Rhino Hi-Fi of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I didn't get the vinyl, but I got the reel-to-reel. I'm going broke.
You're stacking up with the reel to
I'm going
reels.
broke
Yeah.
on reel-to-reels.
Yeah.
Did you order?
I haven't
The
ordered
Catch
it
album?
yet. I think I probably will. I have the 75th AP, which is great. I mean, I feel like it's going to be hard to beat that. I get it's 45, but that album at 45, I don't mind getting up to flip it more times. But again, I'm interested in the Kevin Gray mastering of it. I think everything I've heard about the reel to reel is just so bass heavy, which I'd be very curious to hear that.
I think the reel to reel is going to be pretty terrible. I talked to Kevin on this a little bit. The tape needed a lot of EQing,
Mm-hmm.
and Rhino is not doing EQ tapes. You're getting flat transfers of the master. So
I just can't imagine that album like having just blowout bass with that album, with it being kind of a melodic like.
So I've gotten every single reel-to-reel Rhino Hi-Fi tape they've done. I bought them all.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't listened to any of them except for the first 2. That's right when my deck went out. Although I did speak to Kevin, and he put me in touch with somebody that is going to fix the reel-to-reel.
Nice.
So I got to work on that this coming up week. But it's just been such a busy day at the shop, and one of my staff members was gone for the week, and we were coming off a big sale week, so it was chaos at the store.
Yeah.
But I got to get that going. But I think it's going to be a unique experience for me when I play all of these tapes.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what I've been buying. I bought them all,
Mm-hmm.
and I just have no clue what they sound like. But it will be cool to hear. Who did the 45? Was it Bellman? That AP did?
It was either Bellman or Bernie, one of the two.
Yeah,
I want
think
to say it was.
I don't think Luthans did it. I think it was
No.
a Bernie Grunman. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it was.
But that was great. I mean, I got that, as soon as it came out, and
It is
I really
good.
do like that album a lot.
Did you listen to the MoFi version of it?
No, I did not get the MoFi of it. I had like a clear vinyl anniversary, some sort of anniversary edition that they did that Chris Bellman did. I think that was cut from digital.
That was
And that
pretty
was-
good, though, wasn't it? From memory?
The difference between that and the 75th was pretty night and day to me.
That's one of those albums that's musically phenomenal, sonically all over the place, depending on what pressing you get. I've got the Classic Records. They did a Classic Records 4-disc version of that, and I've got the original Classic Records version. I think that's kind of been my go-to of that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not an album that I've gotten really deep in the weeds on.
Yeah. But I am interested to hear what Kevin's interpretation of it sounds like.
I am
for
as
sure.
well. I personally have not been buying them direct from Rhino because they make them available to hi-fi stores eventually.
Yeah.
That's kind of the new. The Definitive Sound series are doing the same thing. They're making records, they're keeping them on their website for a smidge, and then they're opening them up to indie stores, which is
Yeah.
cool. Better late than never.
Yeah.
And
And still seeing the numbered editions come into the shops. I mean, I've been to other local shops here and seen numbered
it's bizarre to me how many people still give a damn about numbered editions.
You can't, especially on these, because you can't even see the numbering.
You can't see the number.
It's completely covered by
you
the
only know
OB.
it's a numbered edition because of it's on the OB.
Yeah.
But it's so.
But you remember what it was like when the Sabbath self-titled dropped. I mean, that was crazy.
But that was before we knew.
And that was the numbered. And
but
then
that's before we knew they were going to just keep making them forever.
That's true. That was like the first one that they came out with.
I'm so over the numbered. It's just, and I'm a collector.
Yeah.
But they're modern collectibles. They're nothing. They're now granted 20 years from now that might be something, but I don't think the numbering is going to matter much.
No,
because they're doing
they're doing
simultaneous pressings of these now.
Yeah.
You know, with like Buckingham Nicks, they did numbered and unnumbered copies. They're making them at the same time. And there's no proof that the numbered aren't even the first copies off the run. You know what I mean? It could be the unnumbered, and then, you know, or they could be making pallets of these records, taking them over to the packers, and then you got one guy pulling off for the unnumbered, and it's driving me crazy. Part of it, I guess, this week I had somebody bring one back. They're like, "This isn't the numbered copy," and I'm like, "Well, I didn't say it on the website, did it?" And he's like, "No, but I zoomed in the photograph, really, and it looked like it was numbered, so that's why I ordered." And I'm like, because Rhino only provides the stores with the one photo,
right?
And the text tells us whether, stock photo. They don't take numbered and unnumbered photos. I'll take it back. He's like, I gotta have them all numbered. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Gotta have them numbered.
He sounds like the type of guy that would go for Chad's subscription where you get the same number for every release that comes out just to keep it consistent too. But I get it.
Yeah. I'm so over the numbering. I don't know. I get it. I know what it's like being newer to the hobby. And there was a point in time where stuff like that kind of mattered more to me. Limited editions, it just doesn't matter. And I know this because in the audiophile world, what's the greatest today, and granted we're in the golden era of audiophile reissues. You know, everything now is, the stuff that's coming out is amazing. But the hottest thing in the 90s was, you know, DCCs and classic records. Or, you know, those were the best of the best. And that stuff is all being overshadowed now. And it's... Vinyl records in general are interesting, and I'll tell you how I've been kind of curating my collection, and it's been different than what it was in the years past. I've gotten to the point now where I keep the best sounding version of a record, and then I keep, and this is not for everything because I have a disease, but for the most part, I try to keep the best sounding audiophile pressing of a record and the best mintus version of a first pressing I can keep. But then sometimes I get into situations where, like, it's a UK band, so sometimes I have to have the UK copy, the US copy.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Doors. We're not talking about Pink Floyd.
No, but I'm trying to curtail it. But the thing is with audiophile records is what's best 10 years ago might change. What's best today could change.
Right.
There's always something better, it seems, coming out.
Yeah.
But that's kind of an audiophile mentality, is we're always looking for the best. So any little tweaks help. Tweaks to the vinyl, tweak to the packaging, tweak to the mastering.
Yeah. But if you look at some of the recent releases, like the Beach Boys, for instance, I mean, there's so many people that are going back through and doing shootouts and saying, well, I like this then, I don't like it now. And then other people will say, well, I still like that one more than I like this new one. So, I mean, again, it's more on an individual basis. I mean, you can look at a general consensus of what people are saying as kind of how to follow, but
how did you listen to the Beach Boys?
No, I have the Carl and the Passion, so it's like if I wanted to listen to it, I almost feel like I just listen to that and save myself the money on the packaging, and I have the
do
AP. So
a shootout of it, and I just haven't got around. The thing is, I did a shootout of that a decade ago, and for me, the stereo is the best sounding. I like the stereo. It's not analog. It's not original because it was done in the 90s. There was no original stereo mix. I remember driving to an Anthony Wilson concert with Kevin Gray and talking, like, I told him, like, I don't really care for the mono. But, you know, this is the guy driving the car who mastered the mono at that time. And he goes, really? Oh, the mono's the only way to listen. I'm like, I just don't think so. I think everything sounds significantly better on the stereo. The voices, the instrumentation, it's so much clearer, it's so much more crisp. Although I talked to Kevin on this, and he did say that the tape they're using is the best tape that exists. I mean, that is, you know, he was familiar with it. It is the best of the best. but I don't know. I got to get around to doing a shootout of it. Am I going to be in love with it? Like it seems like a lot of guys are. Maybe it's the best sounding mono version that's out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't. It could be. It's possible. But I think for that album in general, I've always liked the stereo. But I will do a shootout of it at some point.
I do like the packaging a lot on it. I like the new slipcase design. I like having the
DSS
copies of the master tapes and all that. Like that's as far as the overall
they're
package
knocking
goes.
it out of the park.
Yeah.
To be honest, if they although they're not putting a ton of money into that slip box, but at least it's small.
Yeah.
But
you can fit more of those on your shelf.
You can fit a lot more of those on the shelf than one steps although the one step packaging now is small, but even the UHQR package is slimmed down a little bit. The prices on none of this stuff is slimmed down.
Yeah.
But the packaging has.
Yeah.
But that kind of brings us to our next news story. Speaking of, because it's DSS adjacent.
Yeah.
Definitive Sound series from Universal. Beck's new album is coming out simultaneously as a one-step. What'd you say?
I think it's on eco vinyl, standard black vinyl,
probably indie vinyl. I know there's a green copy coming out.
So I think it's
Who's doing the mastering of it?
Levi. Levi Sept,
and he did it on all of them.
I'm fairly confident, that he did.
So this
the
is
mastering on all of them.
This is a brand new record, where the first pressing, theoretically, is a DSS.
Choose your flavor. Yeah, you can either standard or all the way up to an audiophile.
But you'll be able to say, no, this audiophile record is the first pressing. So is this indie. So is this. But it is cool because you're right. You can test it out. You can kind of determine, and it's nice. I like that concept. Whatever you want.
Right.
You want the eco trashy sounding copy. I'm sorry. I'm so butthurt about the Billie Eilish. It sounded terrible. You can buy it.
Yeah.
If you want just normal vinyl, you can buy that too.
Yeah.
If you need the Uber vinyl, you can buy that. And people, I'm so tired of people complaining about cash grab. Not everything is for everybody. You don't have to buy everything.
Right.
But why would people be upset about more options? And that's what we're getting here. We're getting more options with
I'd rather have this type of option than 15 different color variants for every retailer out there. On the, it's the same mastering, just different colors. You're chasing Target, you're chasing Walmart, you're chasing
Spotify, you're chasing
all that. And this is something that you and I have talked about in the past, and like artists, Lana Del Rey, some of these bigger artists that have huge fan bases, both, teenagers all the way up to grown adults, and everybody's going to have different systems. Yeah, you can get a cheap version of a Lana Del Rey to put on a Crosby, and if you could get a one step of it or a DSS to put on a high-end turntable, I mean, it's going to cost more, but I feel like if
there's
your
a
fans,
market for it.
100%.
And you're right too. Some of these artists, it's kind of funny. You think of Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey, and then you think of them as artists that are targeted towards, teenage girls. Like these artists are like our age.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. It's not Sabrina Carpenter's young, but Lana Del. Some of these artists have very large fan bases that spread decades, and some of them are, you're right, customers who have just got their very first table. They're 14, 15 years old. They don't have a lot of money, and some of them are uber wealthy audiophiles with $500,000 million systems. So having that as an option is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
What's interesting with this though, and I did a new arrival video and I talked about how they're doing 1,000 copies of this because that's what Universal gave us for a press release, but they're actually doing 3,000 copies. They're selling 2,000 copies direct on their websites, and they're saving 1,000 copies for independent record stores. So that's what there was two numbers out there.
Yeah,
floating,
I was seeing 1,000 and 2,000, and I guess it's the combination.
I spoke to Tom Beery about during the I talked to him quite a bit about the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. But when I was talking to Tom about this, he's the producer, the guy kind of man in the fort over there with these Definitive Sounds series.
Mm-hmm.
But he had mentioned to me that they want to keep all of these available. They want all these to be available to independent record stores / some online sellers.
Mm-hmm.
They're not wanting it exclusive to their website. They want them in indie stores, which is cool. Pet Sounds opened the door. We got Pet Sounds. We got all the ones at the time that weren't sold out. So we got everything except for the REM Murmur, which was sold out. They all came in one big giant lump. There's some other stuff coming out. Like they also announced Holes lived through this, but I haven't got solicited for that. Tom said we're going to get all these titles. My thinking is we're kind of going now down the role. We're going
The Rhino Hi-Fi.
the Rhino
route.
Hi-Fi route. You know, you're going to get it directly from them for a month or so, and then they'll make it available. I'm thinking that's what's happening, which seems to be the new norm. But again, better late than never.
Yeah.
But as far as getting a new title from an artist, I think it's a great idea. And it's so interesting to see how the industry is changing. I've been doing this a long time. I've been buying vinyl records since the 90s. I've had the store since 2015. To see how they have changed the industry just in the last 5 years is crazy. All of the manufacturers now that are doing new stuff, even like Mobile Fidelity, Angel Olsen Records, and the National, and even Chad's doing Stone Temple Pilots and Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah.
But they're putting together higher end, higher quality releases from newer bands, which people have been clamoring for a long time, but normally labels don't listen. They just do what they want.
Yeah.
But they're getting around to actually listening and giving us what we want. We're still getting Who reissues and Rush reissues. We're still getting stuff, but they're giving us new artists on newer, higher quality vinyl. I've got a wish list that's very long. We talked about Lana Del Rey earlier. I'm a huge fan. Her records don't sound that good.
Yeah.
They just don't. Not compared to the digital releases. They're just not great sounding records. And I think they would be amazing as DSSs. And her fan base is huge. They would gobble it up.
Right. Billie Eilish is another one too.
Oh, yeah,
I'm a
Billie
big fan.
Eilish.
Like her first
How would that
first
sound
album.
as,
on super quiet vinyl with,
or maybe as a 45 RPM, that first LP? That would be the bass that they could put on that, cutting it so much hotter, would be just monumental. It would be huge. But I mentioned Rush, and that kind of brings us to our next news story. I got a lot of comments in I've been swearing off MoFi since everything went down. But
Thriller,
this is what's bringing me back in. It's Rush. They have announced they are doing kind of a little weird. They're doing 3 titles. They're only doing one as a one step, and the other 2 are 45 RPMs. It's the self-titled. God, I'm not the biggest Rush fan. Not gonna lie.
I don't like. Yeah, I've been waiting for some sort of reissue campaign myself.
Are you a Rush fan?
I like Rush. I'm gonna go see him at the end of this month, but
tell me what are the
end
other
of December. But
what are the other 2 albums that they're doing? Fly By Night?
Yeah, Fly By Night's one of them.
Self-titled. What's the third one?
I'm drawing a blank.
2 not so Rush fans talking about Rush here, folks.
Yeah.
I seen Rush. Wasn't my favorite show.
Really?
And this was.
I've heard they're phenomenal live.
I don't know. I was at the lawn at the pavilion. Maybe that had to do with it.
Yeah, it could be.
It just to me, it just wasn't. I don't know. I could be happy with a Rush greatest hits and just call on it a day. Although Permanent Waves, like, that's an amazing album. MoFi did this as part of. When did this come out? As an Anadisc? No, this was a part of the newest generation of MoFi. You know, the Music Direct owned version of MoFi. Still half-speed mastered by Sean. So this is pre-digital. You know, when they stopped doing half-speed mastered. That's when the digital kind of came around. But I enjoy Moving Pictures is good. I'll listen to these. Fly By Night's a good record. This is a big get for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not the huge target audience for this, but a lot of people are going to be clamoring for MoFi Rush releases. Now, they're all to be announced dates, but to be announced from MoFi now is 3 months-ish or less. I've heard some speculative dates, and they're a couple of months away. So it's not going to be a long wait. Are you going to pick up any of these 3?
Maybe what I'll do is I'll wait and demo them at the shop and hear them before
You're gonna have
I don't think they're gonna sound terrible, but it just, again, I like to hear their interpretation of the Rush albums, because I feel like these, the originals are pretty easy to pick up, aside from the self-titled. If you go first, first Canadian press on Moon,
God,
that brings
easy
just
to find. Now, where are you finding all these first Canadian Moon pressings though?
No, I said those aren't.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Everything else, all the other stuff you can find pretty regularly with
they sold a
the
lot of
RL or
Moving Pictures,
yeah.
Great sounding record. Robert Ludwig cut it.
Yeah.
Which it's funny because I see newer people to the industry, they advertise everything as this is the RL cut. Well, that doesn't really mean much on a lot of records.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good mastering engineer, but it's not like
he did a lot of stuff.
But
I think it bleeds over from Led Zeppelin 2.
It's all about Led Zeppelin 2. But House is the Holy, the RL, Led Zeppelin 2, Moving Pictures, AC/DC Back in Black. Like those are the RL cuts that are like, okay, these are the ones you want. Steely Dan's Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
Those are like the premium RL cuts. Everything he did is not definitive, guys. But that is a good sounding record. Moving Pictures, I think that's my favorite album. But that has like the most commercial
hits. Yeah.
So for me, like that's the record to get.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are excited about this. I think this is going to do really well.
Is the thought that MoFi has the licensing to the entire Rush catalog, or is this just picking and choosing?
I feel like that's probably what's happening.
Yeah.
They don't tell anybody anymore. But I'm trying to think, Paul Butter. You're seeing it unfold with other Mobile Fidelity releases, like the Paul Butterfield's Blues Band.
Yeah.
We're seeing releases just kind of keep coming out. What's the other one recently they've been doing? God, there's other art. Originally they announced Van Halen and they're going to do, they announced it all ahead of time. And that's what caused the chaos, years and years of waiting. Now they don't do that. They just, here's a Paul Butterfield's Blues Band. And then okay, here's another one. I'm trying to think, they're doing that with another artist at the moment. Brain fog.
Are they going to finish out Michael Jackson? Is that?
Oh yeah, that's like a prime example.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to.
Yeah.
But they did Thriller. They didn't say anything.
They did Off the Wall, yeah.
Oh, here's Off the Wall.
Yeah.
Okay, they didn't say anything. Oh, here's Dangerous. I mean, what's next? Now, Bad is not a great sounding record. Maybe they skip it. Maybe they do it.
Yeah.
God, they could. I can't see Bad not getting better. Bad is just not a great sounding recording, period. But there's other MJ stuff that they could do.
Yeah.
Why not? But yeah, like I said, we're getting big catalog announcements. Rush, The Who, Maggot Brain, although that's a little bit more esoteric compared to these other ones, although I think it's up there quality-wise.
But the whole Funkadelic catalog.
But the whole Funkadelic catalog.
Yeah.
We're getting there's a lot of great stuff. So that's kind of it for the news segment. That's a lot of news to pack into.
Yeah.
There's a lot
when
there.
Led Zeppelin comes out, then we'll have just a whole podcast dedicated to a Led Zeppelin drop.
Let me talk about Led Zeppelin for a minute. We're going to move to the talk music section now. And this is going to be a last minute addition. It's not on here. We're going to facilitate this right to the top. I'm getting emailed nonstop about signing the Led Zeppelin Steve Westman petition. And they're like, we're going to do this. We're going to make a difference. We're not going to make a difference. We're just not. They don't care. You don't think Jimmy Page knows that he could sell a lot of records? He could do anything. Like if they just got rid of the old crummy digital pressings and just come up with new crummy digital pressings, they'll sell tens of thousands of copies.
Yeah.
It's Led Zeppelin. They sell a lot of records. They have a lot of fans. A lot of people want to buy Led Zeppelin records. They know this. Jimmy Page is walking around strutting his stuff, knowing like, I got really good music. People want to buy it. 10,000 audiophiles signing a petition.
But here.
It's mental masturbation. That's what it is.
So here's my take on it, because I did the petition.
Did you sign the petition?
I did. But the petition wasn't a yes/no question. Would you buy audiophile reissues on Rhino Hi-Fi of Led Zeppelin? It was, do you want these individual? Do you want these as a box set? Or do you want them both versions? That to me reads like somebody's got a licensing deal going and they want to know how many to press. But I also understand that Jimmy Page is a tough cookie to crack, and that if it was going to happen,
I think it will. But I don't think Jimmy's going to be alive. I'm not wishing death on him.
No, I get it.
But I just don't think he's going to be alive. I think it's going to be one of these things that artists pass away, big conglomerates get a hold of their catalog, and then they turn on the money machine.
How many times do you think Chad has reached out? I mean,
it's people are like, hey,
it's
Chad,
not just
why don't you do Led Zeppelin? Like, what do you think? That's a great idea. I've never thought of that.
Right.
Let me make a call. It's like these guys are pounding the pavement.
Yeah.
Rhino is doing it. Chad, and everybody's doing it.
And the thing, though, is both sides between Rhino Hi-Fi and Analogue Productions both have ins to a certain degree. You have Chad that potentially has the metalwork from the classic records, and then you have Rhino that has the licensing with Warner.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but
would it be cheaper for?
But
for
Rhino
them?
could do Kevin Gray cut.
No, they totally could. But like Path of Least Resistance, you're not. I mean, but Chad could make.
I don't even think they need to do Path of Least Resistance on this. Once they get the go ahead.
Yeah, but the classic
moving
records
tapes
are
are not a big
somewhat
deal.
tainted when it comes to the history with Mike Hobson and Led Zeppelin when it came to the road case, because that was done without the band's permission. I'm sure they all weren't too happy about that. And that's what you would technically be using probably if you're doing 45 and 33. So, I mean, you're doing $125, $150 box sets, 33, 45. That's exponentially. And if you're doing them 33 with Rhino Hi-Fi,
where was this petition at? Was this on
change.org? It's in the VC. It's in the VC.
Nobody cares. I'm sorry, guys. If you're watching this, go ahead and tell me how I'm out of touch and make a video. That's what happened the last podcast. You're out of touch, made a video, you're a terrible human being. But I'm just telling you the truth. Jimmy Page is a record collector. Like, have you seen It Might Get Loud, right? The video. You look at he's got walls of records. People at Rhino know that the road case is going for $25,000. They know that those records are $400 or $500. They know. Mm-hmm. That means there's a lot of people that want them, because it's not like they're super uncommon. Mm-hmm. They made thousands of those classic standard 33 pressings over decades. Like from the 90s till, I remember in 2010, 11, 12, 13, maybe 2014, still being able to get like Led Zeppelin 3. They were still out there at retail. They made them for years. There are many of them out there. They know. They just know. I wish they cared about us to where we could all get together and...
But I also think, too, Jimmy Page isn't somebody who's on social media. I think he's very
But the
off
people
the
that
grid.
I'm sure like Patrick Milligan has gone to them and said, $25,000. Like, there's a demand for this. There are hundreds of dollars. People are like, they know. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure the people that know, although I got to say, maybe he does watch the VC. I told my Jimmy Page story. So it was in 2020, maybe 2019, before COVID. I got a phone call from a guy. He's like, I'm doing this film. It says, first ever authorized documentary about Led Zeppelin. Like, all right. He goes, we were sitting here with Jimmy watching your Beatles Sgt. Pepper shootout video, and you're spot on that. We both thought you were spot on. And I'm like listening to this, thinking to myself, the hell is this guy talking about? He's like, we're making this documentary. It's supposed to come out in a couple of years. We're going to we're going to go back. We're going to get original pressings. And essentially he was asking about my Led Zeppelin shootout video, because he's like, we don't think that the version you liked was the best. We like this particular pressing of it, but we haven't been able to find a really clean strikeout matrix. We're wondering, and he said, can you send us this copy to this mastering facility out in LA? And long story short, that was the documentary that dropped like a year ago. Mm-hmm. But they were calling on this years and years. And I was sourcing records for them and sending them out. Never did get a credit in the... You
didn't sign any NDA or anything? Like, you're allowed to talk about this right now?
I didn't sign squat. And they didn't credit me. I could be making this all up. Right?
I watched the documentary. I don't remember seeing anything regarding like digging into vinyl pressings and things like that. No, it wasn't that.
I think they wanted at the time, and this is what they told me now, this vision could have changed. Mm-hmm. They were going to use vinyl rips. Like they wanted to present the music as it was heard back then. So they had master tapes, they had everything. But they wanted to use the best sounding available vinyl records for the soundtrack, like for what you saw in the theater. That's what they pitched. So they were getting vinyl copies. And I've got some, maybe the emails are gone. I have emails of like, okay, here's our FedEx account. Send it to this facility. We'll send it back to you. Hey, can you find a copy of the Piro's cut of Led Zeppelin 1? I think they were looking for, it was that kind of thing. But
how far did you get? Were you sending stuff to them?
I sent stuff to them.
Did you get it back? Or was
I sold them stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I lent them stuff. I wasn't really.
You have like a property of in-groove stamp, like a gold stamp promo you put on the jacket. So I think they wanted my Zep 1. I
I'm like, no, I'm not sending that to you. I don't care who it's
Oh,
for.
turquoise.
My turquoise. Yeah. I'm like, it's so hard to replace. It's so clean. It's so hard. I'm like, this is not happening. So
I'm sure you could have swung a pretty good trade with.
But my point was,
yeah,
going all the way back, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, because there's some people in the VC that tell the same stories over and 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 over again. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not going to tell you about my Michael Jackson testimony or anything like that. So I'm not trying to be that guy. Okay? So, but my point is, maybe he's surfing around on YouTube a little more than we think.
Yeah, that is true.
Maybe the guy brought him into the studio and said, hey, watch this. But it's possible.
Yeah.
But my point is, they know. They just know. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And I think that's it. But man, I was getting phone calls like you got to sign the petition. I'm like, what? Yeah, and like that's how
it's election season right now too. So you go, to the grocery store, people are hounding you for signatures and stuff.
Plastered and now you're on the way. The street signs are everywhere. Every fourth sign is a Jay Feely sign, who was the Arizona Cardinals kicker. He's running for Congress, I think. Feely signs everywhere. Door crap on my door everywhere. So now we're getting blasted with Led Zeppelin petitions. I'm just as hopeful as you guys are. Okay. Side tangent. Taylor Swift's wedding. Did you see I put this in?
Go on. This is your... Yeah.
This is the talk music section, and this is music news. She had a
the
wedding.
only thing about it that interests me is the same thing that probably interests you, and that Paul McCartney was there and performed one or two songs that he has not performed since.
So far, the set lists are like super secretive. We don't know what the hell they performed. Nobody knows who's. Taylor Swift performed with Stevie Nicks. First of all, how
I didn't take you for a Swiftie.
I'm not a Swiftie.
Who brought this in to the shop?
I was talking to this about Alicia, my girlfriend.
Okay.
But just the concept of, I'm going to have a wedding. I'm going to rent Madison Square Garden for my wedding. A couple of details that I found interesting is 1,000 people attended, but I wrote this down. There was only seats for like 150 people. So, first of all, if I had a wedding, it'd be a small party because, I'm not Taylor Swift.
You'd have it in a jazz club in New York, not at MSG. You'd have it at...
Well, no, like my last wedding was in the backyard over here.
Yeah.
I don't need a big wedding, but the very concept of having standing room only, I thought was funny.
Yeah.
850 people, take a seat.
Yeah.
But no, it was cool. Paul McCartney performed I Want to Hold Your Hand for the very first time, I think, since 1964, which is cool.
That's what I read too, yeah.
Stevie Nicks performed with Taylor Swift. That's also kind of weird. You generally don't. Do you perform at your own wedding? Is that a thing?
I don't.
Like if I get married again, can I get up there and do like Frank Sinatra, or is that?
It's your wedding, so I guess
you could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But she got a lot of blowback for doing this because it was but it's not anything as crazy as Jeff Bezos renting a city in Italy and taking 57 private planes over there to, but
yeah,
a very cool wedding. Unfortunately, it was a wedding. Were they married ahead of time?
Why
are you not up to date on this?
It's not.
You're a Swift fan.
No.
I've seen you buy Taylor Swift records at the store.
Where'd they go, though?
Home on your shelf, I would imagine.
No, those are the RSD Uber Limited.
Leland's a flipper. He flipped them.
I was totally content with keeping them for a short amount of time and getting rid of them. I don't hate Taylor Swift. My kids love Taylor Swift.
Do they? Yeah.
I mean, they're young girls, so they want to blast 1989. 1989 is my favorite album of hers. I've listened to it, but I don't go down the rabbit hole of living vicariously through celebrities like Taylor Swift.
I'm not a big celebrity what's happening, but this is kind of a musical event. You got a Beatle there, you got Stevie Nicks there.
But it's going to come out in a documentary, or it's going to come out.
But I don't think it will. That's the thing. I think they signed. Do they sign it?
They probably kept everything quiet until something official comes out. She posts something on social media, and then the floodgates open. I would assume it would
Adam Sandler officiated the wedding, which
I heard that, and I was like, It sounds like an SNL sketch.
He also wrote a song for them.
Yeah.
So like, I'm a little upset because I kind of feel like if you're going to go all out, I feel like we should get some video. I want to see Paul McCartney doing "I Want to Hold Your Hand." I want to see
there has to be some
Stevie Nicks and Adam Sandler.
It'll come out in some format, but it's going to be something you're going to have to buy.
You're going to have to go to the theater.
It's going to be a record store day version of her wedding, a Blu-ray. I mean, again,
you think she seems like the kind of person that would kind of do that for her fans?
Yeah, she's going to post some stuff. I'm sure there's going to be stuff she's not going to post, but I feel like the fans are so rabid for anything, any details about the wedding. I mean, I saw all the stuff on social media. I wasn't reading it all, but like every other story was the truth. Every other story was like, what's going on in Madison Square Garden? What's going on with Taylor Swift's wedding? Who's invited? You know, blah blah blah. And nobody's gonna know, unless you were there.
1,000 people, only 150 seats. I would be a little pissed, personally.
Yeah, especially if somebody was in your seat or your tickets were
to be honest,
fake. Or
I don't think. I wonder if it was like traditional security. Like, is it a wedding like to where you can hobnob with the bride and the groom, or was it like a wedding where they
want you there? So
yeah, or did they have security? And like, it's 1,000 people. There's some really well-to-do type people there, and like they don't get a seat. Some people get a seat.
I don't know.
I've often thought about this. So like my kid is a fantastic guitar player. He's a lot of things that's not fantastic because he's 18 years old, but he is a good guitar player. And I've often thought to myself, I don't know, I've had this like mental exercise with myself. Like, what if my kid gets famous? Like, I'm thinking like Taylor Swift's parents. Like, is it going to be like a big burden to like contact them? Like, if I want to go pop to their house, am I going to be able to do that? If I want to pop to Mike's house, because right now he's like, I don't even knock on his door. I just open the door. I'm like, he's in my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? Open the door. Like, is it going to be a point in time where like I'm not able to just barge in? Am I like, how does that work at that level? Do you still?
I think once they hit 18, that's typically what happens.
Oh, is that what happens?
Once you hit 18, I think that's kind of when the rubber meets the road. But I feel like
that's not happened now. I don't know. I feel like I've had such a good relationship with my kid. I'm not good relationship. I'm his father, and like I do what I want.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is there a point in time where they become rich and famous? You're not allowed to do that anymore. I can't invite myself over to the house.
I mean, maybe get some contract drawn up now when he's young that says dad gets VIP tickets for every concert going forward, or whatever it is. Like, I'm sure he would, it would probably be an interesting conversation to have with him at this stage right now.
Because sometimes like parents get like, who is it? Meghan Markle? Like, she had like a falling out with her parents, and like now she wants to the dad wants to contact her. He has to do it through like a PR person.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really weird problems to have. But I often thought, like, what's it like with Taylor Swift's family dynamic? Do they just?
Oh, I'm sure it's insane. But you probably can't go anywhere. I'm sure you have.
What can they just like? Do they get free roam of the wedding? Do they get to just wander around? Because it's really weird. I guess when you get to that level of wealth and fame, life gets weird for you.
Yeah, everything I'm sure changes.
I know my brain goes off on these little. Is that normal? Do you have these? Like,
I don't know.
You don't go on these mental tangents?
No, I live in a very short time span just with the kids that I have. That's 3 kids running around, so it's like, what's the next fire to put out? Who's fighting with who? All that.
I would say I have a lot of time on my hands to think about this stuff, but I don't. I'm probably supposed to be thinking about something important.
Yeah,
and my brain wanders off into this other stuff. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the Rolling Stones. This is part of the talk music, and I want to talk about the Rolling Stones. I mentioned it a little bit. Did you listen to the album?
I haven't yet, but I've heard.
You haven't listened? Oh, my God.
I've heard it's great.
Do you have it?
No. I know.
What the hell? What are you doing?
I've been busy this week, too.
Oh,
I don't own a record store where I can just, let me pull this off the shelf and...
Okay, so I've listened to this record like 20 times.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I think it's amazing. There's a little issues going on with this, and it's kind of funny. You mentioned the gazillion variants. There's a gazillion variants to this. They did cover variants, color variants, Marvel variants, Picture
trading
discs.
card variants.
Yeah, some have trading cards in it. FIFA soccer variants, which I think one of the FIFA covers is one of the coolest cover. I only own one. I got the Wolverine cover. But there's a little bit of an issue. A customer came into the store and he goes, "You have the black vinyl one. I'm looking for the red vinyl Marvel covers." And they were originally advertised as red vinyl with a black label. And I think now, I don't think there actually is any red Marvel variants. You go on Discogs and it says red Marvel, but the same guy listed all a red vinyl, not Marvel. This is the Marvel variants. Guy listed them all on Discogs, but he listed sealed copies and he put red vinyl and he shows a picture of the front and the back. But I don't think there actually is. So I'm getting emails on this. I don't think there actually is a red vinyl variant of the Marvel. So that's kind of
people are getting confused with other variants where they're
the original photograph showed red vinyl.
Oh.
They solicited it with red vinyl, but I have not actually seen a physical red vinyl Marvel disc. I've not seen one opened anywhere. I don't think they actually exist. So we're kind of like in this quasi.
Yeah.
Does it exist? Does it not exist? I can't find one online. It's not on Discogs. If you have an actual physical red vinyl Marvel Rolling Stones, go ahead and tell me in the comments below. But I think they're all black. So that's been a little bit of a thing. I've been dealing with the emails on that.
Have you emailed the label about, or the distributor about what the issue was?
There's nobody to email. They just don't. Like the people that are in the know, I don't have their emails.
Oh. Yeah.
But whatever happened, I don't think it's a big deal. You're really buying it for the Marvel cover and the comic book.
Yeah.
As opposed to the color of the vinyl. And if they only come black, who cares? They only come black. They're supposed to be limited, only 2,000 copies a piece.
Yeah.
And the Spider-Man is going to be by far and away the most valuable down the road because that's the one that sold out the quickest. That's the one everybody wants. I got Wolverine because I thought it was the coolest because he's cutting through the tongue logo. But I think the record is fantastic. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Hackney Diamonds was good. It was a return. It's kind of interesting. Somebody left a comment in one of my videos. The two people were like arguing back and forth about all the variants between Paul McCartney and Rolling Stones. And somebody left a comment, well, at least this record's good, or something to that effect. I look forward. I'm a Paul McCartney fan. I don't look forward to new Paul McCartney records. Just don't. I love him as a Beatle and as Ram and Band on the Run. And it's just new Paul McCartney stuff. Paul McCartney 3 was good. Wasn't great.
Yeah.
But the Rolling Stones, this record is great. I think it's fantastic. I think my two favorite tracks on the album, I wrote them down this time. Because before I was telling people, like, oh, it's the first song on side 3. But Never Want to Lose You and Mr. Charm, I think, are my two favorite tracks. Now, a lot of people I talk to are telling me they kind of dig more of the country. There's a couple of country tracks on here. And I'm like, no, like, Never Want to Lose You and Mr. Charm is like straight Some Girls Rolling Stones. It's great. It's such a fantastic record. I don't know if they're going to tour it. But there's talks that they might do a residency.
In Vegas or...
I would love to see the Rolling Stones at the Sphere, but what would those tickets cost?
Yeah.
I paid $5,000 for a pair of Metallica tickets at the Sphere.
Yeah.
Not secondary. It's like, that's their price.
Yeah.
Then I got to get there. Then I got a hotel.
Yeah, that would be... I mean, it would be awesome. I mean, the visuals for it could be...
It would be amazing,
incredible.
But it would be easier on...
Yeah.
I don't think
smaller stage. Mick doesn't have to run around as much.
Mick is going to run around.
I mean,
it's not Mick. It's Keith. Let's be honest. Like, so I've seen the Stones on all these past couple of tours. Keith is looking rough. Like, Keith had to sit down for a couple of tracks. Mick is still doing, like, laps around the stage.
Is he still... ripping cigarettes on stage?
No, he's not doing any of that.
He's
the very first time, I never forget, I saw my very first concert that I paid for. I saw the Beach Boys in the early 90s. I was really young. I was 11 years old. First concert I ever paid for was the Rolling Stones No Security tour at the Ice Palace in Tampa, Florida. It was 99, I think. And I'll never forget, it was the No Security tour, but they was coming off of Bridges to Babylon. Keith Richards came out on stage with that leopard coat, smoking a cigarette, and I think he just ripped open Start Me Up, I think was the opening track. And that was like classic. So I got to see classic. Who knows? He's probably drinking during this show. He was smoking, chain smoking on stage. That is not Keith Richards now. He doesn't smoke. He visibly looks old. For all this, they're trying to keep him sounding like he's ageless and Keith Richards and he's going to outlive the cockroaches. That's not what I've witnessed on stage. He's in his, 83, 84. Like, he should be that way. Like, that's normal. Mick Jagger is not normal. Yeah. Whatever he's doing, I don't know what's going on in his universe. I don't know what his secret is. I don't know what voodoo witchcraft he's practicing, but I don't know what's going on there. But him going...
I mean, maybe it's just continuing to have kids. I don't know how that would make you a younger man, but...
all the supermodels, maybe he's...
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
Maybe Illuminati. I know people talk... like, I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. It's not normal, though.
Yeah.
To be that... I can't do that now. I couldn't do that at any age.
Yeah.
But to be able to do it at his age is... it's unbelievable. 84 years old. And I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I'm telling you. He is 100% exactly the same as when I saw him in 1999, which was he was already in his 50s. And if you go back and watch him in the 70s, it's exactly the same. Now you go back to the 60s and he's slower, you know, because that's when the stages were smaller. But since the big era of Rolling Stones, it's unbelievable. So I would love to be able to see. This is a great record. It's selling extremely well. You really got to get this, man. Yeah. I'm disappointed in you.
I'm sorry.
What version are you going to buy?
I'll probably just get the standard version. I think the artwork on the traditional, probably just black vinyl jacket.
Did you get Hackney Diamonds?
Cool. I did, yeah.
And you have it still?
Yeah. It's great.
This is a better record.
This
is a better record than Hackney Diamonds. Way better record. Like, it was done. I was listening to Keith talk or Mick talk about it. It was done quick. They didn't dwell on these songs. You know what I mean? They just went in the studio, bang, bang, bang. They did it. Steve Jordan is killing it. I think it's
vinyl sounds fine.
Vinyl sounds fine. I mean, it's the Rolling Stones. It's not.
Yeah.
It's rocking and you know, Keith's got amazing guitar tone. That's what you get with the Rolling Stones record. But it's fun and it's got these country tracks and it's really reminiscent of Some Girls. It just has a little bit of everything, but it's got some more upbeat, dancey type numbers. Not quite disco-y like Some Girls was, but close. Like disco adjacent. Like,
it's interesting to see the difference between Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, and then the Rolling Stones.
It boggles my mind because people are like, oh, you're living in the past. I'm living in the past of like older records. The new stuff these artists have coming out, like Bob Dylan's Key West was so terrible to me. I remember seeing that live and thinking to myself, I need more alcohol. This is hard to watch. That album, Rough and Rowdy, like I just wasn't a fan of it.
My buddy went and saw him in Boston the other day, and he's been doing this for this part of the tour for Rough and Rowdy, where he wears like a rain slicker with a hood and sits at the keyboard the whole time. I mean, in the back. So he's not at the front of the stage. He's in the back. And the very first show that somebody saw him there, they literally just left. I mean, everybody was leaving because I think you have this expectation of Bob Dylan, legacy act, playing the hits, and that's just not
well,
his
he'll play
jam
some of the hits.
anymore.
You just won't know what they are.
Yeah.
Somebody will be like, oh, he just played, you know, All on the Watchtower. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
What? That was there? That doesn't sound any... Yeah.
And then all the other legacy acts, you know, are hanging it up. Elton John's hanging it up. You know, Billy Joel's hanging it up.
More than any artist, but it was time.
So...
yeah, I mean, they're getting to that age. But the Stones, I think, still have a residency in their tank. But what's interesting is, musically, the album is really good.
Yeah.
And that cannot be said about a lot of bands. A lot of legacy acts just don't have much to say, and they're just not great sounding records musically.
Yeah.
They're just not. But the Stones, I think, is a great record. And I don't say that lightly because all the bands that I love, they're not making great records.
Yeah.
I just don't think David Gilmour's putting out great records. I don't think Paul's putting out, you know, none of these. This last Elton record, like, these aren't, in my opinion, great records. They're just not. The Stones is. So take that for what it's worth. Okay, so that concludes our Talk Music segment. And now we're going to get into the viewer question and answer. I want to start by complaining because we're getting terrible questions again. We got to have good questions. I really want to keep this viewer question and answer segment alive. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just too accessible. Maybe you're too accessible. They can just contact us on it. Well, maybe not so much you. You're out there and about a lot. You're popping up on podcasts.
I'm in
now.
the BC, yeah.
Maybe we're just both too accessible. We just need to be more reclusive.
Be more off the grid.
So people like want to ask us questions. I don't know what it is, but
Well, and there's AI now too.
they don't
So
need us
if you
no
have
more.
a question, you just ask AI and it'll tell you.
Nobody gives a shit what we
What gear
think.
should I buy? Oh,
Nobody
just put it
thinks.
in AI. I don't need Mike.
I had a customer came in the other day, was looking at a jazz record. This is the first time this ever happened. We were talking a little bit about this on the podcast I did with Dylan from Noble Records. I had a customer coming in and asking AI if this was a good price. At first I thought he was talking to somebody, like asking a buddy, like, hey, is this a good price for this record? But then I'm like listening a little more, and I had the radio, I turned the radio down. I'm like, that's a chat bot. It's like Chat GPT's bot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's like, it's a second pressing and VG play. He was even using my grading. It's in VG+++ condition. Like, he bought the record, so I guess it told him it was a good price.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah.
Sponsor that AI, whatever it is.
Good for a lot of things. Not good for everything. But AI
Yeah.
is getting amazingly good at aggregating data. The problem is there's a lot of crummy advice on the internet. I hope I'm not the one giving you crummy advice, but there is a lot of crummy advice on the internet, and a lot of that's being aggregated by AI.
Yeah.
It's like we're just gobbling up all this bad advice.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we got one question, and it's a question that I get asked all the time, and this is like the best question we've got. We need better questions, guys. This is from Jason E 6181. Does the clock with 5:59 always on it have any meaning? I get comments on that clock all the time. There's stuff along the lines of,
Is there hidden meanings to everything on this
this is
table?
booze.
Like it's
This is booze to drink, and there's no other meanings.
there's nothing. Okay.
This works, but it's a prop. That works, it's a prop. I'm actually trying to sell this thing. I think I got it on the website at theingroup.com. This table, it's like $8,000, $7,000. It's an expensive prop. I need to get a cheaper prop, but it's for sale. Just if you're interested in it, it's a fantastic turntable. It's not ever used. I dust it off every now and then. It's not hooked up to anything. But the clock, I love. That's a Solari clock. It's a flatboard clock. I've always loved flatboard clocks. It's an Italian company. They used to use them at like train stations in Europe. I think LaGuardia maybe or JFK had a big famous flapper board. And there's companies now that are Vesta board. There's companies that are making these, but that's an original clock. It's broken. It's not something I've gotten fixed. I should, but I love clocks and I wanted to display it. But the thing is about clocks and filming videos, you can't have a running clock in the back. Because
tick, tick.
not
tick.
even, well, that does make noise because it flaps every minute.
Yeah.
You hear the flap come down. I've got one that's functioning, a modern one in my living room. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but you can't have a functioning clock in the background because how do you keep continuity? If I have to do like a separate take, like I've screwed up a couple of times in this video and I'm gonna have to go back and edit it. So you're gonna see some missing clips.
Yeah, the timestamps would be
you're never gonna
right
know.
there, yeah.
But I'm telling you, but you're never gonna know. But I have to have a non-plugged in clock. But there is a meaning to it, and it's Groundhog
You collect
Day.
broken stuff. You have a broken tape machine out there and a broken clock.
I'm a hoarder.
Yeah.
No, it's Groundhog Day.
Oh,
Every morning,
at 5:59, it flips over
it
to
flips
6
over to 6
a.m.
o'clock.
and
He
then-
wakes up. The day starts over again.
Okay.
I thought about, do I do 5:59 or do I do 6? I thought 5:59 was cool because that means it's about to happen.
There you go.
Maybe it should be 6 o'clock because
I like that.
Then
I
it's
like that
happening.
meaning.
It's happening at 6. It's
Yeah.
about to happen at 5:59.
Yeah.
But the scene starts at him laying in bed like this.
Yeah.
5:59, Sonny and Cher. Boom.
Yep.
The day starts.
Mhm.
Phenomenal movie. One of
Yeah.
my favorites. But that's the meaning. That's the thought of it. I've got a broken clock over there. There's another old. Yeah. I've got broken clocks.
Analog anything. There's
It is
gonna be
analog.
broken
That is
stuff.
that's
yeah.
from the 60s.
Yeah.
And that is the rarest combination, too. That is the red plastic clock. The red is the most desirable of them all, if you want to know. If you care.
Yeah.
You don't.
I've been curious about clocks, and I think transition analog after dark. I got an analog clock, and we'll talk about clocks next
Yeah, but that's
week.
5:59 in the morning because of the Groundhog
AM,
Day
yeah.
reference. So this is Analog Before Coffee. This is our Analog Before
Analog
Coffee
Before Coffee, yeah.
segment. But yeah, that is it for this week's episode. Yeah, it's we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Until next time.